Hey everybody, Jeff here, East Texas ADV. Hey, today's video we're going to do something a little bit different. On the 690, I went ahead and decided I wanted soft panniers on the bike. I went through some Nelson rigs, didn't like them because they looked sloppy. So I went ahead and we got the Tusk pilots, but we got an older set of Tusk pilots. So we got the quick release plates. I like the versatility, but there is one problem that just bugs the living crap out of me. What is it? And how did I fix it? Stick around and I'll show you. Voila, what I can't stand. Now, these are the quick release plates from Tusk. Your bag and the pilots, as well as the Olympus, are supposed to fasten to the plate, making it quick release. But the problem is, you always have to run these tight to keep the bag up. So basically what you would have to do is, of course, they're a saddlebag type. You would have to have these connected all the way across to hold the bag up. I wanted to get away from this so that the bag was always up, regardless of how tight these straps were. So let's come on over here. How did we fix it? Look at this. No gap. No gap whatsoever. Okay, this is very loose. Okay, so they are still threaded, so you do get some security with these. So when you can unhook them, and you can load them just like you would any other pannier. Look at that, no gapping at all. They work just like they should. Everything comes off in one piece. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how easy it was to go from this to this. You start out with a 1x6 piece of aluminum, which is 12 gauge, just a little piece of aluminum stick there. All right, you're going to take brace, I guess is what you'd call it, that you get from Tusk. I just laid it out, and you cut as many as you need. I'm going to use 4, 2 on each bag. We're going to use the upper, like what they have you do, and then I'm going to add one in the middle of the bag for reinforcement. This is real important, and you'll see why once we get later into the video. So you're going to cut these up, all right, and you're going to lay your holes out. So you're going to end up with an aluminum piece like this and one like this. Just measure your markings, you drill your holes. Now, what I did was I took a grinder and I ground down all the edges. I rounded everything down, including the sides. And then any rough edges, I took this sanding wheel on my grinder and made sure there were no burrs whatsoever that could potentially cut the inside of the bag, because these will be going inside the bag between the reinforced plastic that holds the shape of the bag on the outside, the bag itself, and then the rack system. So basically from that to that, you can paint them if you want, but these two brackets right here, braces right here, weigh less than this one. It doesn't matter what kind of bolt you get. The hex heads, I couldn't find any long enough. These are a 1.5 inch by 5/16, I want to say. But you can just take down the original fasteners that come with your kit and just get something that'll fit the hole that's a little bit longer, because you're going to have this added piece of metal in there and a couple more washers, so you're going to need that added length. Okay. First things first, you're going to pull the bag off. These are the brackets I'm talking about, but this is actually, these two here and these 3, I'm missing one here, they will go actually all the way through the bag into this hard backing inside the bag. With the backing plate still in the bag, kind of get a good idea of where it's going to sit. Once I determined with this reinforced part of the bag, in the bag where it needed to be in correspondence to the plate, this is not a huge deal because there's quite a bit of movement available with what you're doing. So what you're going to do is you'll mark, these are going to be where your brackets are on the other side of this reinforced plastic cardboard. It was, once I got the marks marked out, I used a soldering iron, basically the same thing as drilling a pilot hole with a smaller bit. I'm going to go back through with the screwdriver that's been heated with a little torch and make the holes the correct size for the fasteners. Man, you could use a drill bit if you wanted to, but I'd rather not drill into plastic. And I'm going to do this on the bags as well. That way it makes a nice clean hole by being burned and melted through rather than cut. Be careful though. Give it a little spin. All right, when you go to do this, make sure, double check, make sure this bolt pattern configuration is gonna be for the correct side of the bag, because they are different. Step is going to be putting this back in the bag, feeling the holes, and using the soldering iron again to start your holes in the nylon of the bag. But you want to be really careful that you don't go all the way through the nylon and the pocket that holds this in. So just barely go in to get a hole started. Once you get your holes finished up, you're going to go ahead and you will take your reinforced cardboard that you've already have put the holes in. You're going to slide it in the pocket and you're going to go ahead and get the racks put on. Is put together. You're going to take these brackets that you made and you are going to install them inside this pouch. So they're going to go between the cardboard that you put holes in and then the plate and the bracket. And hopefully these reinforcements will help keep the holes, help keep these from ripping out when there's a load on the bag. So we're dispersing these holes over the length of this bracket, but instead of having just one like they usually have, we're going to put one in the middle as well. So let's see how that happens. Okay, those brackets are in the middle. Okay. I'm a believer of making everything loose and then tightening it down. However, in this particular situation, you'll never get to these to tighten them down once these are tight. So get these as tight as you can. Keep these top three lined up. Put in your washers. Pull these through. Push those back. Put in your washers. You don't even need washers. Then a dab of red Loctite. And then the fun part is going inside the bag because there is not a lot of clearance when you open that bag up, especially when you get down into here. That was one of the other reasons why I did not mount the bag to these bottom bolts right here, because it would just be almost impossible to get them tightened down completely. There you have it. It's all done, ready to be put on the bike. These look like they're pretty long, and they are. But I wanted to be longer than shorter, but they do not hit anything. If you're worried about them, you can put the little plastic caps. You could even take this one out, measure it, and cut it off with a cutoff with a cutoff wheel. But the pin will still clear this bolt. So this is what you get once you're all done and you've sandwiched the plates together. You got your top support bar here, and then you've got the second support bar down there. I mean, I'm not going to pull on it really hard, but this is, 340-pound motorcycle that I'm pulling on it to move around. I think it's going to be pretty secure. Again, like what I said before, you could do the saddlebag straps just for a little bit more added support, but I really don't like them because I have the auxiliary tank, and every time I would have to get to the auxiliary tank, I have to pull my seat, which means I have to get in here, unhook this, and if